So in quick response to those asking questions about Billboard and VDM. First one, they said, are you therefore supporting Billboard's actions? Yes, if that is what your own brain processes, that's what I mean is that I'm automatically supporting identity theft. It's not my fault, it is your own comprehension ability. I can't be responsible for that. Number two, you hate VDM. Yes, I hate every form of oppression regardless of who perpetrates it. That is why we don't want to mention VDM at all. Hey, if you didn't mention him, they say you are afraid of him. If you mention him, they say you are envying him or jealous of him or you hate him. But whatever he claims he's doing is anti-oppression. And if you're anti-oppression, you can also be doing oppression because you now have access to. But let me make it clear to those who truly want to learn. Look at the charge sheet again. Are you saying below this, right? I'm not interested. I isolated what I reacted to. What I reacted to is that charge sheet. It says IGP versus one living us, otherwise known as Billboard. We have done it for other people severally, including VDM2 in the past, when office of the police is used to enter prosecution. And we are saying anyone who uses police to enter prosecution on their own behalf, their pocket must have leaked to do that. That simply means you are. Have you not heard before? Somebody will say, Kinto, no 3, that's before I spent 3 million, you sleep in cell. It simply means you are not sleeping in cell because you are guilty of offense. Do you know how many people have been in remand? Why we speak against this is because it has always ended up as oppression. For instance, using the office of the police to prosecute on your own behalf against an opponent, and you secure remand for several days ahead of verdict. It does not therefore mean that the person has been pronounced guilty in any way, but you already achieved punishment against the person for remand several days. That is what we are speaking against. People will say, whether you are guilty or not, I don't want to wait for court, but I just want to punish you, sha. And then to the last question, we know you can never oppose Sowore, yes, as far as he remains consistent. Let me tell you the one condition that will become oppositive to Sowore. One, the day he becomes inconsistent with what he has been preaching ever since and be fighting against. Need I remind you, Sowore it was who fought the last IGP for the same reason, that police entered prosecution on behalf of one billionaire, Ned Nwoko. Sowore missed all his campaign periods in the last election because one billionaire, Ned Nwoko, sued Sowore to court, and he never appeared in court for once because of this singular reason, that it was the police that entered prosecution on behalf of the Ned Nwoko. So it has always been police versus Sowore. Not only that, many pastors did the same thing. Any enemy they fear, go and check now. It has always been police versus individual. If they want to punish you, not because court will not pronounce guilt on you yet, though. It is police that will prosecute on behalf of the individual who has the pocket to pay. And that is what we have been against ever since. You can't hate it in other individuals and like it in VDM. It's wrong. So against pastors and against politicians, I've mentioned Ned Nwoko. You all know what is happening with MFM and others. You all know what is happening with other churches and others. You all know the Ebuka, Pastor Ebuka matter, and against others. You know many cases that we have been fighting against ever since. You were right then. But for your faith's interest, we now have to support it. No, it will amount to hypocrisy. So we can never support anything regardless of who is doing it. So I agree with you. I can't go against Sowore, yes, until one condition, the day he also does the same thing. But you know, this same Sowore, people have lied against him a lot, and he never for once deemed it fit to take anybody to court, lest he will even use IGP's office or Commissioner of Police office. He never does it. DSS took Sowore to court, for instance, on behalf of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just as police was in court against him on behalf of Ned Nwoko. Pastors have been in court against him on behalf of pastors and politicians. And Sowore kept insisting that it is wrong to continue to use office or instrumentality of states to prosecute. Okay, let's come back to our brother's own VDM. The same thing we fought for him against then, that they were using office of police to prosecute against him to achieve remand order. The same thing now, he now came back to start doing. And we are saying, you don't come out of a problem to now start whipping the same problems against others. That's why when I likened him to Portable, you were angry. Don't be angry. Portable will say, "Oh, do you wanna do ya well me?" It's the same thing I'm saying. They used an oppressive tactic against you. We fought against it. You now came out and want to now start deploying it against others, and we are saying it is wrong. Then all these minions came out. But let's leave that now. It takes a real person that is against oppression to come out of a situation and say, no, I'm not going to allow the next person face this problem. That is exactly what we are looking for. For instance, some people will say, they said I caught this. Look at Dr. Adedivo. He said, I caught this thing. I can't wait for the next Nigerian to catch it. She defended it. She put a bulwark against it. It's the same thing many people will say, I caught this virus. Example of, they say there's HIV and all that. Some people will say, for me to catch it, everybody must catch it. As high as I don't get money, make her they spread them, they go. But some will say, no, the next person doesn't deserve to catch this thing. I must end it. So that is why we stand where we stand as gatekeepers to say anything oppressive, we must stand to end oppression. Regardless of who is perpetrating it, we say, no, this oppression is not right. So when we stood against it, as pastors were doing it, we stood against it when politicians were doing it, we cannot now approve it when it is a faith doing it. So you will notice that that's why Sowore felt like, VDM may not understand what we have been preaching against ever since. But the way he drove behind the Black Maria to say, I'm lodging somebody for 26 days. Ahead of verdict, too. Ahead of judgment, we are lodging him inside careful prison. You understand? If it were any other charge and bail lawyer, maybe no problems. But a marshal who came from Falanos background, and you know what we have been fighting ever since. You are now the one they now use as tool to perpetrate this. And he also was present in the video saying, yeah, we have secured room for some so person. If I mention bail, you would think I'm not supporting identity theft. But I'm saying that approach, which what we are reacting to, that we are isolating that approach is what we are allowing office of the police sue on your own behalf. VDM, for instance, is a big name. There's nothing wrong in saying Martins Vincent Otse versus one Billard. Linus, I believe, Linus, just say that we will understand. But to say IGP versus Livinus, IGP is complaining on behalf of one Martins Vincent Otse. We are saying all you wanted to achieve was that remand. That is why you made a video to say you have succeeded. That even you too, at least for the first time in your life, you can lock somebody up in prison. Not because court has pronounced them guilty, but because you can at least achieve a remand. Punishment ahead of guilt or verdict. And that is the acme or the apogee of success for him. It's ridiculous. Sorry about that if he's your Lord and Savior, but that's not it for us. But what we are saying is that let us all, you will not understand it now. Those of you who say abuse me in this video, and if you try to abuse me in this, if you don't have anything logical to contribute in comment, if all you have is insults, don't forget I'm doing pest control on this page. Any stray rodent that puts any ludicrous comment, I'm going to just do my simple pest control. Just place your argument. My view is this. I don't agree with this because of this. But if all you have is insults, I'll just consider you a stray rodent, and I'll do my normal pest control. So far, all of us cannot be thinking hypocritically. You have to face it consistently. If you have opposed it for pastors, oppose the same style for politicians, we cannot approve it when it is our fave. Except all of us want to be deceptive together, and I cannot join the deceptive bandwagon simply because it sounds nice to say now for one person when we have stood against the same thing over time. I'm not joining that. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next one.